great to be back introducing this year's Yorkshire Property Industry Awards. Last year I was out and about predicting real movement in the industry, and as you can see, the cranes are up all throughout Yorkshire. Let's start with some vital statistics. During the second quarter of the year, investment in commercial property up 50%. The number of deals taking place up 40%, and very importantly, the size of those deals up 10%.
For the last couple of quarters, the figures have been very strong, particularly in terms of office take-up. And in truth, that isn't just in Leeds, that's across the region as a whole as well. There's no doubt about it, the market's got that traction, it's got that momentum now, and you can see things moving forward. And obviously the recent pre-lets that have been announced as well have continued that trend. And it is the pre-let market that's driving the big deals and is going to drive the big investment deals over the coming 12 months as well.
Back to school!
Right, I've got a list of things.
The name John Lewis is becoming increasingly significant in the Yorkshire property industry market. Last year I was stood at this very spot reporting on the opening of the Vanguard shopping centre with the John Lewis store. Now we hear that John Lewis are opening one of their biggest full-line stores, as they call them, outside London in Leeds next year. And also we're hearing about the new 85,000 square foot delivery hub that will support these stores that is taking place at Logic in Leeds. So the name is an interesting span between the retail and the industrial sectors.
On the industrial and distribution front, the market has been excellent. We've seen the take-up of the last remaining speculative units constructed in the late 2000s, and this has meant that we've gone from a situation of oversupply in the market to undersupply. With improving demand, with improving economic conditions, we're now running short of supply, and where buildings do come available, they are going very quickly.
Many of the developments that are being celebrated in the awards are new developments, but some are in older heritage buildings, and it's interesting to see those types of developments being represented on our judging and our sponsorship panel.
I'm convinced that the pleasure and pride and the value added that you get from a refurbishment makes it worthwhile. What I'm hearing out there in the market at the moment is that actually there's a sort of brand value that businesses are now seeing in being associated with a good old building. So I'm actually thinking that maybe we're going to see more refurbishment in the near future.
Some of you might have spotted a brief flavour of Game of Thrones in our opening. Well, here's a little bit more.
The King in the North! The King in the North!
Ah yes, that move to create a northern powerhouse and wrest control over planning away from the south is still a hot topic. Now, Gerald Jennings, who led the Trinity Leeds project and is now president of the city's Chamber of Commerce, is seen by some as one of the kings of the north. But he believes his fellow power brokers have to fight together to win the day.
We need to really make a very dynamic, a very compelling case for people to invest in this region, not in isolated places, but across the whole of the north. And I think if the whole of the north does that, clearly we're much stronger together, rather than isolated cities or isolated regions making their own case. Of course, we'll still have that, and quite rightly. Leeds, Sheffield, Manchester, Liverpool will make their own separate cases. But as a whole, if we can have one cohesive message for why people should invest in this part of the world, I think we have much more likelihood that we will get that investment. And transport and the political side of life, the governance, has to be an integral part of that message.
And some printers of property would say we're already winning the battle to attract investment away from the south, and in some cases bringing in big bucks from foreign thrones too.
We've started to see a much broader cross-section of investment in the region and into Leeds city centre. We're starting to see foreign investment, the likes of Canadian pension fund interest in Wellington Place. We've seen Far Eastern investment. I think the markets in London have obviously got to the point where they're regarded as having overheated somewhat. So we're starting to see more interest from London investors, London property companies, and we can expect to continue to see that. So I'm ending this introduction outside the Victoria Gate Arcade here in Leeds, one of the landmark developments taking place as these awards are held. Have a great evening
Bye for now.